pass things along to this man, Jimmy G, for a little in the rink, a little chilly, little hockey action, bro. Talk to him. What we got going on with the hockeys?
All right, so gonna bring it back home to the boys here, the Philly boys. So this team, the Flyers, right? I called this early. They're hot and they're gonna play really well. They are currently tied for the number one spot in the entire league at 7-2-1.
Okay.
Now listen to me. Listen to this though. I don't know what this team is. I can't figure out if they're going to be a fancy passing team. I can't figure out if they're going to be a grinder team or just a defense first. They play different styles every night, and that's concerning. I mean, your record, you are what your record says you are, and currently they're tied for the number one spot, so that's got to be something worth talking about. But at the same time, it's like you got to find out your identity. A lot of sports, and especially in hockey, you got to find out who you want to be and what team you want to be. You get a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're just stacked top to bottom on all offense, right? Built from the front down, and they just dominate offensively. Defense, they have the best defenseman in the league, Victor Hedman, of course. And he's obviously a rock, but he's an offensive defenseman as well. He can score. And you got teams like the Predators for years, built on defense. Just keep the puck out of the net and then wait for your chances and go push up. Flyers, I don't know what they are. It's a mix, and I can't figure out what they are, but I mean, you are what your record says you are, so hopefully they can turn it around or find their identity per se. But otherwise, I'm looking at the stats right now. The Maple Leafs are on fire with the same record, 7-2-1.
Oh, no.
And yeah, this is like they're a strange team because they've had three of the best stars the past 5 years. You got John Tavares, you got Austin Matthews, you got Mitch Marner. All of them are first-round picks, and they've all been monsters in their time. But they haven't been able to figure out how to get over the hump. They can't get past the first round if they get to the playoffs at all. And so maybe this is the year they turn it around. Maybe they figure it out, but it's been a Toronto curse for years. Other hot teams, the Capitals, also a Philly rival.
They're looking good in the West right now. I know the Blues are doing really good.
Yep, the Blues are the number one team in the West. And that's a team coming fresh off of not fresh off, but 2 years off of a Stanley Cup run. They still have the same core players, and they know their identity. They're a counterattack team. They're tough defensively. They have a great goalie. So they know what they want to do, and they're playing slow hockey. And so it's a very interesting league so far. You got the Canadiens at number 4 overall, and this team was supposed to be in a rebuild per se. But then again, you have probably the best goalie of our generation, Carey Price, and that speaks ions. It's like get a quarterback is the most important position in football, and in hockey, it might be the most important position of all time in sports. Because if your goalie is bad, you will not win. It's like it's tried and true. You can't win without a good goalie. But this league is wide open still. It's still very early. You really won't tell who the contenders are until probably 20 games in, especially with a shortened season. It's very tough to figure out who's going to be the best or who's at the top. Because right now the Lightning, they're not even in the top 10. It's like, but they're fresh off a cup win, so it's like you really can't tell this early.
Right now,
I think this time last year they were floating to 500, so it's like they turn it around right away. So it's really tough with hockey, and there's a lot of momentum shifts, and I'm excited to see where the league leads from the rest of the point out.
You got any big trades or anything we see coming up? Teams that need to make a big move? Any players you see out there teams could pick up to maybe get them over that hump?
Absolutely. So big trade happened this weekend was Patrick Laine from the Winnipeg Jets for Pierre-Luc Dubois from the Blue Jackets.
Wow.
And so these two players were actually, I think, picks 5 and 6 in the same draft. So they were right next to each other. And so what happened was both players were really upset with their organizations. They both didn't like what they were doing. They didn't like their coaches. And so they just said, here, we're going to switch and swatch them. So they flipped out 2 first liners. So basically almost like the quarterback switch where it's like they flip the 2 picks back and forth, see what they get. I think in the long run, the Jets win this trade because Dubois is a little bit younger and he's a center, and centers are more valuable. But Patrick Laine is a sniper. He's a big body. He's got a huge slap shot. So right now, the Blue Jackets are really going to be pushing for a playoff berth for sure.
Nice, dude. So I know there has been a couple postponements, some of them COVID related with the Jersey Devils and the Rangers. And then there's also been some weather, because the Sabres stadium up there in Buffalo, you just can't get to that shit right now with all the snow. So what is the NHL doing to make up these games? Are they just going to reschedule them? Is there going to be an extra week at the end of the season type thing? Like, do they have any sort of plan in place to make up this shit? Because obviously there's going to be more COVID trouble as we get deeper into the season here.
It's going to happen for sure.
Yeah. So it's interesting because there is a player agreement that just came out this season where you have to have at least one complete off day every couple of weeks where you can't practice, you can't do anything. The Flyers just had theirs yesterday. So I think what they're going to do is they might have to void that contract and start doubling up on games because you got it especially with a shortened season. It's very tough to figure out who's actually legit and who's going to. It cuts out on teams who probably will make the playoffs, but they can't because they didn't get hot at the right time.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is probably double up on games and figure out someone's going to have to take one of the days off and play, which sucks. But I mean, hockey's here, so the boys want to play. The boys absolutely want to play, want to get the game going. So I don't see any trouble with them breaking that agreement and getting some more hockey going for sure.